Hey, generator installers. So, this video that you're about to watch is actually one video of a three-part series of training videos made for our clients inside of SwiftSocial to help them capitalize on all the high-quality generator leads that we get them every single day. So, what you're going to hear in this video are industry best-in-class practices that we've learned from personally interviewing dozens of our top-performing generator installer clients from all across the United States, and then distilled down into the highest possible return on investment and most important practices that they all had in common across the board for actually turning generator leads into dollars in your bank account. So, if you're a generator installer and you already know all this stuff, or maybe you learned a few things, but either way, you need more consistent, high quality generator leads, click the link in the description of this video to book a quick phone call with me, and we'll see if we're a good fit to work together. And if we are, we'll install our proven honesty based generator advertising system into your business, and we'll run it totally for free for 2 weeks. And if you don't love working with us for literally any reason at all, you never pay us a penny for it. So, without further ado, let's get into the training. Thanks. Hey, generator installers. So, this is video number 2 of the three-part video training series that I provide you guys here in this resource page for every single step, all the way from A to Z, how to actually turn these generator leads that we're getting you, these opportunities, into actual sales and dollars in your bank account. So at this point, you would have already watched the lead nurturing video. If you didn't watch that, go ahead, scroll above this video. Make sure you watch the lead nurturing video first, because that's really going to put this kind of more into perspective. It's going to make more sense if you watch that. It'll give you the context that you need, because it's really, I do these videos in order because it's the same order that you're actually going to turn these leads into dollars with, right? So it's going to be, from the lead nurturing, you get the lead, what do you do? And then you get the lead on the phone, what do you do? Which is this video. And then the next video is going to be, what do you do once you're face to face with them and you're trying to get them to buy a generator, right? So let's get into it. So the appointment setting process for generator installers. This guide outlines the recommended process for setting appointments with potential generator customers. Following these steps will help you build trust, demonstrate the value of your service, and qualify leads effectively, ensuring a higher chance of closing the sale during the in-home estimate, right? So step number 1 is building trust and understanding the customer's needs. So this is really important. When you first get on the phone with the lead, don't jump straight into discussing prices. A lot of people, especially people who are used to selling a lot of word of mouth and referral leads and stuff, which in a lot of ways are almost kind of pre-sold sometimes. Like, they know that they're going to pick you, they just want prices and they're going to do it. They'll get on the phone with these people and they'll instantly start talking about prices. And with these Facebook and Instagram leads, they start out at a lower baseline trust level. I talk about that concept a lot. And because of that, you got to be careful with jumping right into discussing prices. You got to build trust first and understand their needs before you talk about that. So start by building trust and showing genuine interest in their situation. So the goal is to deeply understand their needs and concerns so that you can position yourself and your service as the ideal solution, right? So key actions: introduce yourself professionally, begin the conversation by introducing yourself, your company, and your role. Number 2 is ask open-ended questions. Use questions like, "What made you interested in getting a generator?" Excuse me. Have you experienced any power outages recently? If so, and how did they affect your household? What are your reasons for wanting a generator? What's most important to you in choosing a generator system? Or what are the most important things for you to have backed up in the event of a power outage? Stuff like that, right? Um, and then listen actively too. Pay close attention to their answers, even take notes while they're talking, if it's possible. Pay close attention to their answers, maybe take notes and acknowledge their concerns. For example, I understand how stressful it can be to lose power for extended periods of time, especially, if you're on medical devices, if you have an oxygen machine, like a lot of customers. And that's why many of our customers, choose a standby generator system, right? Um, and then avoid talking about price yet, right? So the focus at this stage is to connect with the prospect and to show them that you care about their specific situation and you understand their needs, right? So if you can understand their needs so well where you can get to a point where you can basically explain their issues and their problems back to them better than they can even say it out loud themselves, then that's like ultimate trust level. That's fantastic, right? So, step number 2 is build value. So, after you understand the customer's needs, start building value by explaining what makes your service unique and why it's worth the investment, right? So, many customers don't initially understand why generator installs cost significantly more than just buying the generator off the shelf. So for example, a lot of people, you can go into like Home Depot or Lowe's or whatever it is by you, and they don't understand how you can buy one of these things off the shelf for, let's say, like $5,000, but it actually costs like let's say $15,000 to install it, right? They don't understand that price delta, right, between buying the generator and installing it. Because in their mind, to the average homeowner who doesn't understand generators like you do, or just electrical work in general, anything like that, they think, okay, they're buying it for 5 grand. They're basically just plopping it in, and they're making 10 grand, and be like, oh, they're scammers, they're whatever. That's why you see people online on like Facebook and stuff, all generator installers, that's ridiculous, because they don't understand everything that goes into it, right? So the key to overcoming this is to actually address this kind of concern or this misunderstanding that these people start out with a lot of the time. Address it proactively. So basically, before they ask about it, make sure you address it first to avoid the objection later, right? So, key actions. Number one, explain the process. You want to help the customer understand what goes into installing the generator. So explain to them, they're like, there's a lot that goes into this. There's permits, inspections, there's there's site preparation, leveling the ground, pouring or taking in the concrete pad, connecting the generator to the electrical and gas systems. If you're doing load shed modules and stuff like that, that's a whole nother thing. Potentially a sub panel, like all the stuff that goes into it, testing the system for safety and reliability, ongoing support and maintenance as the years go by. Um, Highlight your expertise, mention any certifications, years of experience, or partnerships with reputable manufacturers. Like, are you a certified Generac dealer? Mention that. That's a selling point because you're able to, do warranty repair and maintenance and stuff on their unit if it needs it in the future or when it needs it. And then emphasize the quality, safety, and reliability in your installations, right? And then excuse me, there's something in my throat. And then differentiate your service. So discuss how your team goes above and beyond compared to competitors, right? And then share examples or testimonials from satisfied customers too. Social proof goes a long ways. So, example talking point. Many people wonder why installing a generator can cost between ten to $20,000, even though the generator itself might only be like $5,000. And the reason is because the installation process involves extensive expertise, from obtaining permits to ensuring the system is safely connected to your home's electrical and gas lines. We also test everything thoroughly to guarantee reliability when it's needed most, because it's really not just about the generator; it's about the complete solution to protect your home during a power outage, right? And step number three is qualify the prospect with a broad price range. So once you've built that trust with this prospect and you've demonstrated value, and and you kind of answered that question beforehand, why does it cost so much more than just buying it off the shelf? It's time to qualify that prospect by providing a broad price range, right? So this ensures that you're not wasting time on leads who can't actually afford your service. Because the last thing you want to do is take all this time. You spend money to get a lead, then you get on the phone with them. It took your time to do that, and then you get out there face to face, but they're a tire kicker. And even if they wanted to, they couldn't even afford it in the first place, right? So, what we do to get around this is, at the end of this phone call, once you've qualified them, you want to give them a broad price range. So, for example, use a range like ten to $20,000 to account for variables like generator size, installation complexity, and any additional cost surge protectors, gas line extensions, what have you. So give them a really broad price range, like $10 to $20,000, and then be clear that the exact price requires an in-home estimate, right? And there's going to be some people who are still going to push you for an over the phone estimate. They're going to tell you, "Oh, I want an exact price over the phone." Don't cave into these people. If they're really pushing for that, and you explain to them too, it's like, "Hey, like, the reason that we do these in-home estimates is because we want to be honest with you, right? And honestly, we can't give you an exact price over the phone without actually getting out there in person, seeing everything for ourselves, taking measurements if we need to, like whatever it is to get this estimate. We can't give you an exact estimate over the phone, and honesty is very important to us. And if you tell somebody that and they're still pushing you really hard, oh no, I want an exact price over the phone, just give me a price. That's probably not going to be your ideal customer anyways, and they're probably never even going to be a buyer. They're window shopping. You know what I mean? So, um, gauge their reaction. If they agree to the range, then move to the next step. And if they hesitate or object, then probe further to understand their concerns, right? So here's an example script. Based on the size of your home and the needs we've discussed, most installations fall in the ten to $20,000 range. So this includes the generator, installation permits, and all the work needed to ensure it's safe and reliable for years to come. Does that range work for you? Right. And then, of course, if they say yes, then get them on the schedule for an in person estimate. Number four is schedule the in-home estimate. So if the prospect agrees to the price range, schedule a face-to-face in-home estimate. It's crucial. You can't be giving out estimates over the phone. Okay, I know some people like to. It's like across all the clients that we work with, dozens of people all across the country who sell tons of generators. In-home estimates, face-to-face with the person builds the most trust. You have the highest chance of closing them. It's the best way to do it, right? So. If the prospect agrees to the price range, schedule the face to face estimate, and that's where you're actually going to finalize the sale and then provide an exact quote. I like the word estimate more. I should have put estimate. And then key actions. So confirm their availability, find a date and a time that works for the customer, reiterate the benefits of the in-home estimate. So for example, the in-home estimate allows us to give you an exact price and ensure everything is tailored to your home's specific needs or to your specific needs. Set expectations, mention that you'll provide a detailed and exact estimate during the visit or at the end of the visit, and highlight that they'll have an opportunity to ask any remaining questions that they'll probably have once you're actually there face to face with them, right? And then example closing script, great, there's something in my throat. That's not the script. Um, Great. Let's schedule an in-home estimate to get you a precise quote and go over everything in detail. So, how does specific date and time? How does January 5th at 5 p.m. work for you? That's a little late. How does January 5th at 2 p.m. work for you? And they say, oh yeah, that works perfect. And then you go meet them, right? So, summary of the steps: build trust, understand the customer, ask questions, and listen to their concerns. Avoid discussing price initially. Number two is build value. So explain the installation process and highlight your expertise. Address the cost difference between buying a generator and a professional installation like you provide. Number three is qualify the prospect. So provide a broad price range to gauge their interest and ability to invest. And then if that goes good, schedule the in-home estimate and set an exact date and time for a face-to-face meeting to finalize the sale, excuse me. So by following this structured approach that we gave you here, you'll position yourself as a trusted expert, build value in your services, and ensure you're working with qualified prospects who are ready to move forward, right? Because the only thing worse than wasting money on like bad leads and not following up with them and stuff like that is spending money on leads, getting them on the phone, and then not knowing what to do once you actually get on the phone with them, right? And then ruining it halfway through the process. So this process maximizes your chances of closing the deal during the in-home estimate. So thanks for watching this video. Go ahead now, if you've watched the lead nurturing guidelines video and this appointment booking setting guidelines video, go ahead and watch the third and final one, the sales guidelines, best practices video. That one's really, it's going to be a little bit longer, but it's for a reason. There's a lot of really cool things that we teach you and that, we've taken from those interviews I talked about earlier to help you sell more generators. So I'll see you in that video. Thanks for watching. Bye.